All right, then in five, four, three, two, and we back in this bitch. TOLPcast.com. You already know what it is. It's your boy J Lip. You know who I am, and it is episode 99. It brings a tear to my eye that we finally got this far. But I thank God we alive, and I got the big bro in the building, the originator, J.Rhodes. J.Rhodes, what's good, baby?
What's up, Lip? Glad to be here, man.
Hey man, I'm glad to have you. So time is limited. I wish I could have given y'all more for this episode 99 Facebook Live, but unfortunately, life happens. Nigga got caught up at work and had to do what I had to do, so we here. Let's dive straight into it though. Regardless, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was this. Well, first and foremost, I want to let everybody know we're doing this Facebook Live, this final, the finale, the grand closing, because we're transitioning into bigger and better things. So don't think that we not gonna be live, we're not gonna be out here, we're not gonna have the content for you. We will. It's just not where you expect it to be. So we will be revealing those details shortly. But until then, stay tuned. Stay motherfucking tuned. Now, let's get to it. So I want to talk to you about the shutdown shit. So we all know how Trump gets it and how he doesn't get his way. You know, he threw his little temper tantrum. He shut down the country, the government. In all essence, he shut down the country for about a month. Now he bringing it back for a couple weeks for the Super Bowl, so niggas can get their flights off, and then he gonna shut it down again. So what you think about the impact of the shutdown on you and people who look like us?
Hmm. Uh, from my day to day, I don't really experience it because I work for a private institution. However, um, it's not too far for you to feel the reach of it. Especially, I used to work in public housing, so you think about a lot of these housing authorities, or even a lot of branches such as libraries, any kind of government-funded institution may not have felt the effect of the shutdown within the 30-some days that it was shut down, but they had that reserve cash that they had built up was starting to run a little low. So thank goodness that the shutdown did kind of end, temporarily when it did, because it's going to start affecting a lot more people outside of just people who who immediately rely on their funding from the government.
Right, so like direct employees, people who may work like municipal jobs, work for the courts, work for the groundskeeping of national parks, shit, even the military perhaps. Now, I think what occurred was the pressure got put on when you started seeing, and all I keep hearing about was this TSA situation, where you're seeing less and less of availability of flights because there's less and less coverage or employees willing to come in and not get paid for their time served. So, now, we could look at that and say, okay, that's an inconvenience, but what do you feel like is truly going to be the culmination of what occurs after we get back to Shutdown 2.0? Because I believe it's coming. I believe we're going to be
Um,
open for a minute, but that Shutdown 2.0, it's on your ass. So, what do you think is going to happen? I personally think, well, I'm going to let you speak. What do you think is going to happen?
I think that right now a lot of the managers and supervisors are telling people like, hey, your check is coming, your back pay is coming, but FYI, pay your rent, but try to hold on to a lot of that money because 2.0 is coming, as you said. And I think a lot of people are starting out to prepare themselves for it as much as they can. Obviously, people who live check to check or don't have a lot of cushion, they got to pay back their rent or their car notes or whatever else they kind of arrangements they had. But as much as they can, I think they out here trying to hustle and trying to save some money because, like you said, it could be an even longer period, 2.0.
And I'm with you on that too. I guess my concern would be when you get back to the 2.0, if he doesn't get the wall, how far is he willing to take it? How far is Trump willing to go?
Well, for one, I think this whole wall fiasco is just a distraction.
Mm.
He's really good at bait and switching. Because I'm really hoping for that Mueller investigation to come through and get his ass. I mean, they keep on
I think
locking up.
everybody is.
Yeah, like they keep on locking up some of his boys every other week. It seems like, but I think what he does is he throws these little temper tantrums, and then he has this like bait and switch. So now it's the wall. Pretty soon it's going to be on the people who running for office in 2020. He'll get into a little verbal spat with them, and it's going to kind of take our minds off of the impending investigation. And I think somehow, somewhere, he's building up money in Russia or wherever else he's got his investments at, and he's getting his money together for a rainy day too.
When you talk about the Mueller investigation, it reminds me a lot of the movie. I want to say it reminds me of the movie Goodfellas when they started knocking off all of the uh, all of the individuals near the end of the movie. I think Trump's regime is getting knocked off one after the other, and I feel like it's only inevitable that he gets brought to a certain space of confrontation, but I don't think it's going to lead to impeachment. I don't think there's enough time left to really go through that process with the next election coming up so soon. I don't also know if he'll actually lose because he's showing a lot of his supporters that he's willing to sacrifice everything to make this shit go off. That's scary to me at
I mean,
least.
that's just one of many, bro. I mean, this is the same dude who has a history and documentation of being racist, owning, he's a slumlord.
Right,
He's a
racist, sexist,
he's a
bigot,
sexist, misogynist. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
say whatever. Any type of ist, that nigga's a ist. Trump ist.
Yeah. So like I said, you still got people who are, you still got a lot of men who respect Trump because, because they respect his money, respect his cake. You got Kanye, you got Dragon Blood, you got women,
Oh, I forgot
especially white
about
women,
that.
that's supporting him. You know what I'm saying? Despite all the grabbing by the pussy or whatever else he got going on. So it
Grabbing
just
by the
shows.
pussy,
Grabbing
having
by,
the extramarital relations with the porn star. I mean, the man has showed his hand and people cheering like they celebrating it. Like he's so bold, he's so strong. But
on
what
top of lie after lie after lie.
exactly? I see a small man with a small mind, but transitioning from a small man to with a small mind to a bigger man. Pause. I want to talk about. I want to talk about the homie X. DMX is home, baby. I want to
Okay.
talk about the fact that X been in prison. We'll say for the past year for tax evasion. Now this is probably the 30th, 40th time the nigga been in and out of jail, but regardless, with this last stint, he looks like he's a healthier person. He's speaking on his God power shit. He's coming across as somebody who is better off now than he was before. However, I feel like that's consistent for him. And I want to
Mm-hmm.
ask you,
Same
would
old, same old. Yeah.
exactly is this truly just a pattern, a reflection of what prison does for him, or is it truly him having changed? So I want to talk about that real quick, and then also in comparison, I feel like when you hear a lot about what Meek Mill is representing with prison reform, do you believe that prison is somewhere that's supposed to be a state of rehabilitation, or do you believe that it truly is just a place of punishment where you serve your time and you endure whatever the movies and the films and the documentaries say you endure, and you come back to society a different person for the worse? Because I would say, I know you're gonna disagree because we already talked about the shit offline. But I would say prison's supposed to be a center of rehabilitation. It's supposed to make you better. They should have more programs. They should have more opportunities, more apprenticeships, more skill building opportunities that allow you to enter into society with some way to make a way for yourself as opposed to being another dependent on what would be considered the government, which is really tax dollars from you and I. But what do you think, my brother?
All right. Let me go. Let me address DMX
Oh,
first.
shout out to the homie Smith too. Sorry, bro, I can't add you, man. I can't do it. But we got about
Shut
5 minutes. We got about 5 minutes, bro. But we love you, and we gonna have you on episode 100. Trust and believe. But go ahead, Rose.
All right. So back to DMX, right? So we all love DMX. He was definitely one of my favorite rappers back in the
Oh
early
yeah, the
late '90s,
dog,
early
the
2000s.
dog.
And I think that those demons that made him such a great artist are the same demons that's haunting him now in his retirement, or what I'm saying, semi-retirement, whatever you call it. I pray and I hope that he really has turned that leaf. I think the problem with people like DMX is, and I've experienced it with my own family as well. You can't escape that trauma. Like therapy helps talk about it, helps you deal with it, but those people never really truly escape their trauma. And then the problem is he goes to jail, prison. He's clean. He's away from a lot of those influences, whether it be money, drugs, sex, women, whatever, alcohol. But then he'll slide back into society like, yeah, I'm doing better, you know what I'm saying, I'm praying, you know what I'm saying. And then once you get around some drugs again, or you have access to those things, it's a wrap. And then you say DMX, he did some dumb shit. He driving with no license. DMX doing some dumb shit. He got caught with cocaine. DMX doing some dumb shit. He ain't paying child support. So it's like it's almost like a cycle. And as much as like you feel some empathetic for him, but then you're like, damn, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel sorry for him, and I pray he got it together. And I'm kind of curious about this little young girlfriend he got. I thought that was his daughter. You saw the picture of that? She
Yeah,
mad.
man. Yeah,
So
man. I mean, hey, well, we ain't even gonna get into the young ladies conversation because we done touched on that with Rob. Pause. But what I wanted to say was, speaking. Okay, we got X down. Now,
no,
how do you compare that with the Meek situation and how he came out truly a different person? I mean, Meek has been consistently different. He ain't
uh,
backslid nan one time.
let's pump the brakes on that.
No,
Okay.
pump. No, you
Let's pump the
accelerate.
brakes.
Accelerate what you think. Just think it out loud.
Like Meek been out of jail for like 2 months, bro. Like
Come
he ain't
on,
been
dog.
he ain't
Come
been home
on.
that long. And the thing is this, like, look, like I respect Meek Mill. I like him as an artist. Seem to be a cool person. But here's my thing though. People want to be champions for stuff when it affects them, right? Like he want to be the face of like urban prison reform and justice reform and everything that he got. I got Jay-Z on my back. I got Michael
A
Rubin,
bunch of rich
whoever.
white men. Yep. Yep.
So whoever I mean, all that stuff is good, right? But the thing is, you wouldn't feel that way if it wasn't affecting you. And let's go back to why it's affecting him.
Good point.
Let's go back to why it's affecting him, right? So obviously, with this most recent case, it seems that judge, an African American woman at that, was a little harsh on him because obviously, he
A
got
little.
hold on, he violated probation, with Philly doing the bikes and stuff, and then the whole thing was they dropped the case. So they saying so you can't enforce previous like an additional penalty on my probation if that case was dropped. And then they had the stories where she had to make a song and whatever the case may be. So definitely she seemed to be doing a lot. She was being extra. But I think
You
what
excusing
was
a lot that she did.
yeah, but I think what was being missed though, bro. She's looking at Meek Mill as like you're an influencer, you have power, and the thing is, those celebrities they get so many slaps on the wrist, they get probation forever. Like they get probation all the time because they have access to lawyers and money that can do that things that you or I probably wouldn't be able to do. So I think that she was hard on him to set an example. Maybe she was wrong, but I think she came from a good place. Like, look, y'all gotta
Oh
you gotta
my
cut this out.
God. You said
Look
she
how
came from a good place.
I
My
told you
nigga, are
because
you serious right now?
bro, you don't act like Meek Mill don't be like fuck the judge. Like they be saying all these things. They be out of prison like, yeah, I'm out, man, I'm being be good, you know what I'm saying? They hold me down, I strap, and then they be like, man, fuck the judge, we popping willies. Like, so you can't be both. You
Okay.
can't be both.
Okay. And so I guess the commonality here between X and Meek is you can't be both. Like for X, it would be you can't come out praising God, calling yourself the original Son of God, the God incarnate, and then as soon as you get a whiff of coke, you back on your bullshit. And in the same respect with Meek, you can't be like prison reform they doing us dirty, but then throwing your middle finger up to the judge like fuck the justice system. Is that
Yeah, pretty.
is that what I'm getting from you? Is like y'all, you got to choose one because I feel like if you choose one and you stay consistent, then it helps strengthens your position. It strengthens your validity, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And the thing is, I'm not saying that there aren't issues with the criminal justice system, especially as it pertains to people of color. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we're aware of that, so we have to make smart choices. We have to play by the rules, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And regardless if you worth 30 million or you got 30,000, you make 30,000 a year, you still have to conform to the society that we're in. And unfortunately, we're not empowered, so we have to conform and kind of abide by. I ain't saying be no weak nigga, but I ain't saying I'm not gonna be an antagonizer of somebody who can take my freedom away from me.
My man, you said it better than I thought you ever could. So even though I wholeheartedly disagree, this is thinking out loud. I had the homie on. We had to get the quick boy in episode 99. Check us out. Episode 100 is gonna be in a special location that will be revealed to you shortly once it's finalized and I get all the paperwork signed. But until then, which will be next Tuesday. Until then,
Big things.
big things, big things. I'm telling you. Pause. All the way. We coming hard. We coming hard with a big thing. So with that being said, it's your boy J Lip, and it's his bro J.Rhodes. J.Rhodes, appreciate you, bro.
No
And C
problem.
Smith, we see you, boy. You'll be on there one day. We out.
All right, yeah.